Good morning and welcome to our session, our breakout session on boys and girls clubs and the possibilities of partnering with them. As I had shared a little bit earlier, there are some 11.3 million young people, 1 out of 4, that after school have no place to go. Every summer, there's some 43 million kids who have no access to any kind of a summer learning program. And the Boys and the Girls Clubs help to fill this gap. They serve nearly 4 million kids and teens, ages 6 to 18, and they provide a safe haven for these young people as they leave school or during the summer when they don't have any other place to go, to be able to go to a Boys and Girls Club and be a part of that program. They try to provide a safe, constructive, and supporting environment where they can have fun with other peers, and they can be guided by trained youth development specialists. Their mission statement says, "Our mission is to enable all young people, especially those who need us most, to reach their full potential as productive, caring, responsible citizens." They try to reach every young person who enters their doors to try to put them on a track to be able to graduate from high school with a plan for a future, demonstrating good character and citizenship and living a healthy lifestyle. We have a lot in common with these Boys and Girls Clubs, and we have found in our district that they have a need for some of the things that we can do to augment their program. While they serve ages 6 to 18, most interest to us is the fact that they have a Torch Club, which is a middle school club, and they have a Keystone Club, a high school club. And the purpose of these clubs is to develop leadership and to provide service opportunities. However, they have limited staff and resources, and so they are able to only do so much for those young people. By partnering with them, we can really extend and expand the opportunities for these youth that they would be able to participate in programs and do things that they would never have opportunity to do otherwise. We have in our district 5 of these Boys and Girls Clubs in which we have based an Interact Club, either working with their Torch Club or their Keystone Club, the middle school or the high school, sometimes both. We have a 6th Boys and Girls Club that is just getting ready to come on to be also a joint Interact Club. So what do we have to offer them? This is, I think, very important to understand how we do interface and why they are eager, if they understand what Interact is, what Rotary can provide, what we can offer them that they need. Our Interact district provides 2 conferences that are planned and supported by our district council for our high school young people that apply to be part of our district leadership. And they put on a fall leadership conference. And that conference, which is virtual, enables the staff and the, in this case, for the Boys and Girls Club, the staff and the student leadership of their clubs to get further training on how to lead their clubs, the opportunities they have that they can work together with Interact and with our RYLA programs. And so that's a fall leadership conference that we host for them, and they have found that to be very helpful, provide additional training for them and those connections. That conference is put on, as I said, by our student district council, and so they are able to connect with that and to benefit from that. We also have a district conference, Interact District Conference, that is held the last Saturday in February, and that's an in-person experience. And that has been something that has been very beneficial for them to bring a group to be able to be participating. They are divided up with young people from other Interact clubs from around the state. And our district happens to serve the whole northern 2/3 of Arizona, plus Needles, California, and Laughlin, Nevada. So we have a lot of young people that are from different circumstances than these young people that they can interface with and participate in. Each of these conferences has a couple of speakers. They have 4 breakout sessions. And again, they are run by their peers, the Interact leaders, the high school leaders that participate in our district council. So these 2 programs have been very helpful to them. And our Interact district actually offers leadership, training, and service opportunities at 3 different levels. We offer it at the club level to help them that they have a more successful club, training them to be successful leaders there. We have also a district level leadership program the young people can apply for who are in high school. So this would particularly connect with their Keystone clubs. It would not be available to the Torch clubs, but their Keystone clubs, their young people can apply to be a member of our Interact District Council. And if they become a member of that, then they serve as an assistant governor for a year, and they will have 3 to 5 Interact clubs assigned to them to work with, to help support, to interface with, and encourage. And so that is a possibility to be able to serve at a district level, something that certainly is not offered by the Boys and Girls Clubs. The third level that we offer is our Interact international level of service, training and service, and that is our Interact Ambassadors programs, where young people can apply to become a member of a team that will be going either to Kenya in the summer for 2 weeks or to central Mexico. We have a district signature project, which is our Interact Crutches for Africa program, where the clubs, any size club, and this can be done with a Boys and Girls Club or a campus-based club or a community-based club, where any of these clubs can have a hands-on international service project by going out into their community to neighbors, friends, people they know at church, wherever, and also to go to hospitals, nursing homes, veterans groups, to be able to collect used, no longer being used, crutches, wheelchairs, prosthetics, walkers, and then we collect these, we ship them to our Rotary partners in these countries that we work with, specifically Kenya and Central Mexico, but also we have shipped to Uganda, Nigeria, and other places. But these are pieces of mobility equipment that handicapped individuals who are poor, have no access to be able to ever get these, can change their lives. And so we send then a team that we train of high schoolers, usually 6 members of a team with 4 adult advisors, that we send as our Interact Ambassadors team to Kenya each summer. This will be the 6th team that we'll be sending this summer. We'll be sending our 2nd team to Central Mexico. And during the time that they are in those countries, they help to actually distribute that equipment, fit it to the individuals. Some of these are individuals who are members, what they call the African crawlers, who simply the only way they have to get anywhere is to crawl on the ground or to be carried by their family members or perhaps wheeled around in a wheelbarrow or something, because they have no mobility. They will never have any mobility unless some teenagers here who are interactors in our clubs, can either be Boys and Girls Clubs or a school campus-based club or a community-based club, have been out there finding this equipment and sending it to these countries so that they can be able to get up off the ground, they can have mobility, they can become a productive part of their society. And that changes things so much for them and their families as well. Because if you are on the ground, you're treated like dirt, usually in that community and that culture. But to be able to get up, to stand up, to move, to have mobility, to be able to go and get your own water at the well, or to be able to go and shop in the town's market or whatever, this totally transforms life for these individuals and the way they're regarded. It also transforms lives for their families who have had to essentially be responsible for their mobility. Now they are mobile on their own. And so as we are able to enable these people in these countries, and we send these teams to go and we train them for 4 months before they go to the country so they can understand how to fit into that culture, how to work with our partners in those countries. It is a very impactful experience, something that, in fact, has changed the course of life for many of these young people. As I said, we send 6-member teams as far as high schoolers, and we have 4 adults. But I can tell you that over the years, these young people that return after these experiences, many of them change their majors for what they're going to be studying in college and their professions where they're going to be able to going into some field where they can be helping and serving individuals more directly. So this is the third level that we offer in our district. As I said, we have 3 levels: club, district, and international. These are things that Boys and Girls Clubs members, participants, uh, most of these young people are from lower economic families. Most of them generally not have a whole lot of access to other programs. But if these clubs become joint uh, torch and interact or keystone and interact clubs, it opens up all these possibilities for these individuals. So this is what we believe we have as an attractive partnership that we can offer to these clubs. Of course, all these clubs have to be sponsored by a Rotary Club, and as Rotary requires, they have to have both a Rotarian advisor and they have to have a a faculty advisor if it's a campus-based club. But in the case of the Boys and Girls Club, one of the staff persons will be that faculty advisor that will interface with the Rotarian advisor. There's also all kinds of opportunities, as Brian had mentioned in our keynote, opportunities for mentoring with these young people. And I firmly believe that one of the best membership retention tools we have in our Rotary clubs is to be able to connect them, our Rotarians, with some of these youth. They need to know what you know. They need to know your experience. And you need to make these kinds of mentoring connections that will enrich your life. It really becomes a very important reason to stay in Rotary because of the things that you can do through Rotary you could not do on your own, particularly working with these young people. So we see lots of possibilities here in working with them. Now, we also, in our RYLA programs, and we particularly cater in our RYLA programs to young people who are in our Interact programs. And so we have the opportunity to open these programs to these Boys and Girls Club members as well. In our district, we have 2 RYLA programs for our high school age. One we offer in the fall, in October, and one we offer in January over the Martin Luther King holiday weekend. We just this last year launched a new program, our junior RYLA program for middle school. And so we have opportunities here to be able to open these camp opportunities where they are challenged to realize their potential for leadership and working as teams, learning to team building skills and learning to stretch themselves and to try things they've never thought possible before. These camps are really something that are really of invaluable nature to these Boys and Girls Clubs members. And so we offer these to their members, just like we offer to the rest of our members of our Interact clubs, and encourage them to apply. And of course, with our RYLA programs, they are not paying for these to be able to send their young people to these. These are paid for by scholarships by Rotary clubs. So again, this becomes an extremely attractive thing with limited budget, with limited staff, limited resources in the Boys and Girls Clubs. The RYLA programs are something that are like a gold mine for them. So these are some things that we have offered, and we're working with our Boys and Girls Clubs. We went through a very, very difficult period, the pandemic. because the Boys and Girls Clubs could not be open. They could not be working with them. There were a lot of staff changes. We're having to do some rebuilding, going back in and re-educating staff to help them understand why this partnership is important to them, what it does have to offer to them. And so we're in a rebuilding period with our Boys and Girls Clubs, Interact Clubs, just as we are with our other Interact Clubs, where we were shut down for a period of time in many cases. I'd like to go back and talk about another thing that was a really neat thing that we worked out with our Boys and Girls Club in Fountain Hills, Arizona. We have, as I said, we serve clubs all across the northern 2/3 of Arizona, and plus Needles, California, and Laughlin, Nevada. That's a long distance. It's pretty far to come to something like a district conference. Some of these clubs will travel maybe 5 hours to get there. And so an attractive option would be to come bring your group the night before and stay overnight and then be there for the conference that day and then go back home after that. Well, for a time, we were having some of our schools that were willing to open classrooms and facilities for these groups from outlying areas to come and stay there at the school overnight. But then we started getting into problems because school districts began to worry about their liabilities, and uh, and it became almost impossible to find a school that was willing to host any of these outlying groups. Well, talking to Jaron Rosenblatt, who was the youth development supervisor for the McKee branch Boys and Girls Club in Fountain Hills, Brian said, "Hey, we would welcome them. We've got a gymnasium here where they can bunk with their sleeping bags. We have restrooms. We have a place where they can fix a snack. Uh, we can have some breakfast for them in the morning before they go to the conference, and we'd love to host groups from outlying areas. It would be good for our kids to be able to see this and to be a part of that." So this was a really neat aspect of something that we were able to offer through our Boys and Girls Clubs to these outlying clubs to be able to come in and stay at a Boys and Girls Club overnight and be welcome there and to have a safe, again, uh, place for them to camp for the evening as a group. So there's all kinds of mutual symbiotic relationship that we feel that we can develop with the Boys and Girls Clubs. It's good for them. We believe it's good for us. It helps us to expand our reach to young people that probably we would not be able to get into an Interact Club. And we are able to do it by partnering with our torch clubs at the middle school area level, at the Boys and Girls Clubs, and the Keystone Clubs at the high school level. So that's just a little bit about what we do in our district, and we encourage you to take a look at your Boys and Girls Clubs and to develop some conversations with their youth development supervisor or some other person on their staff there. Talk about what Rotary has to offer through our Interact programs, our RYLA programs, even our youth exchange programs. Possibilities that they could plug into by becoming an Interact club, expanding their Torch Club or their Keystone Club to make it a combination club. I'm Art Harrington. I'm with District 5495. My email address is arthts@msn.com. You're welcome to connect with me. I'll be glad to share what we do with our programs. Thank you for listening.